Vaulton is about to come out, and with it, brand new sets of gear. 2 legendary sets and 9 relic sets. Right out the gate, I need to tell you that you cannot build your character or gear your character the same way they do in Korea. You can think of our version as a half release when it comes to the gear sets, and I know for a fact that unless you're a veteran and you're experienced, everyone will be asking how they should be going about upgrading their gear. You can potentially mess up your gear selection, and it will literally cost you weeks of time since Vaulton is only once per character per week. Vaulton will be dropping mats that are exclusive to the Vaulton raid, and you need those mats in order to craft your gear. I'm going to be walking you through this and give you all the information that you need to figure out what you'll be doing for the Vaulton release. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you guys are the actual gear sets and the mats required in game, so you can have that visual representation or that visual image on what the interface looks like. Okay, so you're going to see this 1340 number here all the way down, and that changes into 1390, this 1490 here. Just ignore the red numbers in below. The sets that we will be getting is from this piece right here, or this selection right here, all the way up. And the first 2 that you're going to see are the legendary sets, and with these legendary sets, you will notice this mat right here. This piece requires this tendon mat. We're going to call this a tendon for now. And the first 4 pieces require this mat, and the last 2 pieces require this tooth. This tooth looking like mat, we're going to call it the tooth. Okay, if we look at the second set here, it's going to be the same thing, only the first 2 pieces require the tooth, and then the last 4 pieces require the tendon. Now this is really important. We're going to be getting back to this though. After the legendary sets, the remaining sets are these relic sets or the orange sets, and you're going to see that these sets right here have different requirements as well. You're going to see this bone, and then you're going to see this purple thing, which are called wings. These wings are from Vicus, and these bones are from Vaulton. Now this is significant because right now we only have access to Vaulton. So the only thing in my inventory right now are the bones, and you can see that represented by these 1, 4, and 4. And you're going to notice that every single set has different pieces that require different mats. So a lot of people's gearing process will be different. You're not going to be able to just copy pasta one person. You really need to figure out what gear set you're going for, what the mat requirement is, and kind of plan out exactly how you're going to go about doing your runs, because each run gives you a specific amount of mats, and you can just be a lot more efficient with your time, because remember, Vaulton you can only do once per week. So to summarize that here, if we look at this set specifically, these first 4 pieces require these bones and these rocks, and the last 2 pieces require these wings and rocks. So I put together a spreadsheet and a Google Doc for you guys, and this spreadsheet and Google Doc literally has everything that you guys need to know in regards to the gearing process and the actual gear sets themselves. If you check out this red box, if you click on this link, it's going to take you to another site that has all the legendary and relic sets written out and translated with the material cost, what raids that you actually get them from. So if we look at this poem set, the weapon comes from Vaulton, helmet chest bottoms comes from Vicus, and the glove shoulders come from Vaulton. These notes are going to give you a short description of the set and or what classes can work well with them, or what classes are very, very good with them. Okay, keep in mind that just because it says, for example, Gunslinger Peacemaker here, it doesn't mean that Gunslinger Peacemaker specifically is BIS for this. It just means that that spec can use this, as there are people that do. These 2-piece, 4-piece, and 6-piece effects right here, these were personally translated. I translated them myself with Yunny. All right, we literally went in and tested each 2-piece effect, 4-piece effect, and 6-piece effect just to double check and make sure this process took a long time. I know that there is a Reddit post that actually has a translation of this, but I can tell you that these translations will not be what's written on there, like word for word, because obviously these are in my own words, personal words, and I wrote them out in a way that I feel like is a little bit more easily understandable. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Again, one last note here, keep in mind every set has different pieces coming from different raids. Back to the spreadsheet. I want to go over these 3 notes here real quick. Assuming no mats are obtainable outside the raid, rocks can be obtained from other sources. the rocks. Okay, these are the rocks right here. First time clear chest is also not factored into any of this. And finally, the legendary and relic sets all have some pieces that require Vicus, which we don't have access to. Now let's talk about what you actually get for completing Vault in Hard and Vault in Normal. To upgrade your gear, you need 3 mats. You need tendons, you need bones, and you need rocks. The wings that we saw earlier are not available in our game yet. You get 12 tendons for completing Vault in Normal, you get 6 bones for completing Vault in Normal, and you get 0 rocks for completing Vault in Normal. For Hard, you get 0 tendons, which is big factor here. You get 12 bones, so you get double the bones for running normal, or I'm sorry, excuse me, for running hard, and you get 2 rocks for completing hard, which you will not get for completing normal. So as you can see, normal gets you tendons, hard gets you rocks, and more bones. The material cost for weapons, regardless of whether it's bones or tendons or anything, even Vicus wings, the material cost is always 25 per weapon and 10 per armor. The TLDR to that is completing the Vault in raids, you'll have access to getting these 3 mats, and these 3 mats are required to craft your gear set, and these 2 mats specifically can only be gained through completing the Vault in raid, versus the rocks here, they're primarily from Vault in Hard, but you can also purchase the rocks from a vendor, which we have not factored into any of this yet. This last section right here can be a little bit confusing, so I'll try my best to make this as clear as possible. This section right here is going to show you how you should go about prioritizing which pieces you should actually get. Now, I've broken this down into 6 different sets. All the set combinations that you will be going for fall into these 6 different set categories. As you can see, set 1, if you're going for the enchanted set, that is set 1. The set 2, the sets available for set 2 is the poem set, the swamp set, the death set. Set 3 is the psychedelic set. Set 4 is the nightmare set and poem set. Betrayal at set 5, and set 6 is dominant and destruction. Now keep in mind, this is a hybrid version of these sets because no one will have access to any of these sets that we just went over, because no one will have a 6-piece set or can get the 6-piece set for any of the relic sets that we talked about, or even the legendary sets. Okay, nobody can get a full 6-piece set because Vicus is not in the game yet. So these sets are a mixture of the legendary sets and the relic sets. And depending on which relic set you want to go for, that is going to determine which set you are going to choose right here. Now, we talked about mixing a relic set and a legendary set since Vicus isn't in. Now, what you have to know about the legendary sets is that one of the sets have the weapon come from Vault in, and the other set has its weapon come from Vicus. Now, this is really important because certain sets, for example, let's look at the death set. This set right here requires you to actually have the weapon from Vault in, because only the weapon and helmet is available from doing Vault in. This means that if I want a full 6-piece set where I've got 4 legendaries and 2-piece relic, then under those pretenses, I'm forced to actually use the Crit Whisper set, because the 2 pieces that I would pick up from the death set, which is the relic set, are the 2 pieces that I wouldn't have for the Whisper legendary set. Hope that made sense. With that said, let's break down these sets, okay? So set 1 right here. Set 1 would be a 4-piece legendary damage set that includes the weapon. The damage set is the weapon set, okay? And the 2-piece relic set, all right? The sets that fall under set 1 is just one set, which is enchanted. If you're trying to go to enchanted set, this is the set that you'll be going for. This set right here requires 55 total tendons, all right? 55 total tendons are required for this entire 4-piece legendary set, and 20 bones, as you can see right here, 20 bones are required to craft the 2-piece relic set along with 2 rocks. Now, the 2-piece relic set is armor only because weapons cost 25, armor costs 20. So you only need 20 bones and 2 rocks. So that would be a total of 7 runs, because it would take you 5 runs to get 55 total tendons, based off of how many mats you can actually get in a normal and hard run. And you would need 2 runs to be able to get the 2-piece relic set, meaning it would be a total of 7 runs or 7 weeks to complete your set. With that said, because you can get bones by running normal, okay, if you were to run normal first and not Vault and Hard, okay, you would only need 1 run to complete your relic set. Okay, 1 run, that's what this little note here says. 1 run only, so 1 run only needed for this to complete this set right here. Only 1 run needed if your first 5 runs are Vault and Normal. So again, if we run 5 normals first, Vault and just came out in the first 5 weeks, you run Vault and Normal, then you would only need to run 1 Vault and Hard, and that would complete your set because you have enough bones at that point, because you get bones in Vault and Normal as well, and you would just need the rocks and the remaining bones. Now, this also factors in being able to buy the rocks separately, because you can actually buy the rocks, so you don't actually need to run Vault and Hard in this particular situation to get the rocks, because you can run them, but you would still be short on the bones running 5 normal runs, thus forcing you to run Vault and Hard 1 additional time to be able to top off your relic set. Okay, now set 2, which is the Poem set, the Swamp set, and the Death set. Set 2 is going to be very popular because supporters and a lot of melee back attacking front attacking classes are going to be using it. Now this set right here, which we used as an example earlier, requires 2-piece relic, which includes a weapon, and 4-piece legendary, which is armor only, no weapon, which means 40 total tendons are needed, which will take you 4 runs because you get 12 a run. And it will take you 3 runs in itself. It will take you 3 runs, 3 Vault and Hard runs to be able to get 35 bones, which is what it requires. This 2-piece set right here, that's 25 for the weapon and 10 for the other armor piece, for the helmet, I believe. That's a total of 35 bones that you need. And you also need 4 rocks because 1 weapon requires 3 rocks and an armor piece requires 1 rock. So that's a total of 4 rocks right here, okay? It's a lot of explaining, but, you know, TLDR, the 2-piece relic set with the weapon will require a total of 35 bones and a total of 4 rocks, which would take you 3 Vault and Hard runs, which is obviously 3 weeks. Now, the same thing applies as it did in set 1. If you were to run Vault and Normal 4 times first, before running Vault and Hard, then you can complete the set in 6 weeks. Only 2 runs are needed at Vault and Hard to complete the 2-piece relic set. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's obvious. Well, a lot of people were thinking about running Vault and Hard first, and as you can see from every single one of these sets, you're going to be completing your set at least 1 week later if you're running Vault and Hard. Let's look at set 3. I had to actually add Psychedelic and Nightmare to sets 1 and 2 because these sets are in sets 3 and 4, and depending on how you want to go about them, if you want to do, for example, Psychedelic, 2-piece Psychedelic, and then 4-piece Legendary, you have that option, or you can just do 3-piece Legendary and 3-piece Relic. Now, the only downside to going 3-piece Legendary and 3-piece Relic is that you'll only have the 2-piece set bonus from both sets. You will not actually get the 4-piece set bonus, nor will you get the 6-piece set bonus, because you obviously only have 3 pieces from each set. Now, this is something that I probably wouldn't recommend because those passives are great, but at the end of the day, it is something that you can do, so here are the numbers around it. If you were to go 3-piece Legendary damage set, that's going to require you 45 tendons, which you can get in 4 runs. The 3-piece Relic set, armor only, is going to require 30 bones, 3 rocks, and you can do that in 3 runs, which gives you a total of 7 runs needed to get this entire set. That's assuming if you do Vault and Hard first. Now, if you were to do Vault and Normal first, and you were to do your first 4 runs on Vault and Normal, then only 2 runs would be needed to complete this set, as shown right here with this note. And this one also has an additional note that says that only 1 run is actually needed. So not 3 runs, not 2 runs, but only 1 run is needed if you actually purchase a rock from outside of the Vault and Hard instance, which you can. Other than that, the rest is pretty much self-explanatory. Set 4 is the same as set 3, set 5 and set 6, you know, all the same. And what you're going to notice is that this bullet right here is there for every single set, showing that every single set will be achievable or completable rather, at the very least 1 week faster by doing Vault in normal first. I do also want to mention that the current legendary set that we have from Argos is equal stat-wise to the legendary set that we get from Vaultin. They are identical when it comes to stat performance. The difference lies with the set bonuses, Argos giving a 2-piece and 5-piece bonus versus the Vaultin set giving a 2-piece, 4-piece, and 6-piece, which in our version, we will only have access to 2-piece and 4-piece. The people that could prioritize running Vaultin hard day 1, week 1, are the people that don't find any value running the crit set, being forced to run the crit set because we only have access to Vaultin and not Vicus, being forced to run the crit set and not finding the value in that crit set compared to the Argos preordained set. And that's it, guys. I hope that helped. Sorry if that was a little bit confusing. I did my best to try and even edit this thing to make it like as straightforward and straight to the point as possible. If you guys are a little bit unsure, you can always catch me on Twitch. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what gear set you guys are actually planning on going for, which gear set combination. I'd love to hear what you guys are planning to do. I do want to say the spreadsheet and doc will be continually updated. I want to actually add in like the ideal classes and specs for each gear set, so hopefully we can get that done. Obviously it'll just be done automatically, so just bookmark those that Google Doc as well as the spreadsheet. And yeah, I hope that helped, and see you in the next video.